Hi, this is Daniel Ritchie again, and I would like to talk about a new feature in the latest version, Howler 9.6, which is a Vectorblur tool, which is very useful for creating these long, elongated glares, glows, and lens flare type things that you see these days that are very popular in Hollywood movies today. Well, a little bit of history on this. It seems in the old days of film, movies were shot in a regular 3:4 aspect ratio. That's 4 wide, 3 high, I guess, or 3 to 4, 4 to 3, I guess you'd say, aspect ratio. And then around maybe the 50s and 60s, widescreen became very popular, and they had to find a way to adapt the existing equipment to work with this wider format. So what they did was they took a regular format, they put an anamorphic lens in front of it, and squeezed the images from the widescreen cameras down into a regular 4:3 aspect ratio piece of film. And then when they projected it, they would put another lens in front of the projector and stretch it back out onto the widescreen. So they were actually storing this widescreen format in a regular format piece of film. This kind of resulted in a stretched things like lens flares and that stuff would be kind of stretched looking because these things were being shot through an anamorphic lens. So this is really becomes synonymous with the cinematic look over the years, where you get these really elongated and glowy lens flary kind of things happening in your movies, as you see in this clip here. It was a composited clip from a green screen footage. I would like to thank Hollywood Camera Works for the download of the green screen footage. You can go to the website and download some green screen clips if you want to try them for yourself. And this is one of them. And I'll tell you how we went through the process of creating this briefly. I'm not going to go through every step. But what you see here, I'll go ahead and store a copy of this to memory. Animation store. And I'll show you the original clip, which is this green screen footage. And also we had a background plate which was just created in 3D Designer, some mountains or something, and some clouds in the background. And I'm going to put that in the swap image. That's just if you press this S up here, just think of it as drawing on the back of the paper. And I'm going to go back to the original, and as you see, we have in this version a new and improved, as soon as I can find it, under composite with and green screen, a new and improved green screen plugin or filter. You can see we have a lot of options like green removal. You can create a matte, and in fact I have done that. I have created a matte of this and saved that out as an animation, and that's very useful for what we're going to do here. I also saved out a copy that was the final composite, which is what you see there. We also have some options to really adjust the amount of green that bleeds through and that sort of thing. We have also color correction options, because when you do green removal, you really need to put a little bit of green back in there, otherwise your people look a little bit too pink. And some other options, gamma correction and contrast and that sort of thing, that are also in there. Alright, so I created an animation and stored that to memory, which is what you see here. And I also created the mask version, which is just a black and white or a grayscale version, which is what you see there. And then I took the background image and multiplied that with that mask, which is what you see there. And now with that, I took our new blur, vector blur, and I applied some of this vector blur. This basically blurs on one direction. It's not like a regular Gaussian blur that blurs in every direction. It just blurs in one direction. Kind of like motion blur, slightly different. I'm going to go ahead and hit animate to apply that to every frame. As you can see, it's very quick. And then we store a copy of that. We have it for later, which is what we actually have here. Same thing. And you can see that. And then all we have to do is from there go ahead and restore the composite we did. and click on this where it says use as animated swap image. As you remember, that swap image that we used back there is, as you remember, you think of it as drawing on the back of the paper. Well, you can also make that an animated swap image simply by clicking on one of these stored animations and clicking on that button that says use as an animated swap image. Now I'm going to scrub back and forth, and actually if I jump back here, you'll see that's in our swap image. Alright, so I'm going to go to where it says filter, combine with, and combine. Might do additive this time. The first time I did screen. Let's see how that looked. Little more blown out. That might be desirable or it might not. I used screen mode first time, but I'll go ahead and try this and see what it looks like. And that is how we created those anamorphic glows and blurs and all that sort of thing. And I'll play that. Okay, so there you go. That is the new Vectorblur tool, the new green screen tool, and some of the other features we've added recently, such as being able to store animations to memory and use them as a swap animation, and also the ability to combine filters over the course of animations, which is something that's been added in the last year inside the program. So it's really become a program where you can just work on video much with the same way Photoshop will let you work with still images. Basically, you apply a filter and it applies to the entire animation. Very quick process, very intuitive, very natural feeling process. A lot different than working on the project-based like node editors and timelines and that sort of thing that have become pretty much the norm in special effects. It's a different sort of process. It's more touchy-feely kind of, but it's kind of old-fashioned, but it's a way that really works. I hope you can enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed watching the tutorial. Hope you enjoy some of the new features coming in Howler 9.6. And thanks for watching, and ta-ta for now.